Yo, welcome back to the second segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Just in case you guys out there didn't know who that was a cut, I want to say, from 1987. And if you know me, I am a avid music lover, or used to be anyway, of all different varieties. And that was Headed for a Heartbreak by Winger. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook Live as well as YouTube and Twitter. It's your boy Willie Epteen Jr. holding it down to the dopest engineer on the globe. Big day. You already know what it is. Baseball fans all over the planet. I promise. We're going to get to some baseball here in just a few minutes, just in case you missed it in the first segment. We did talk about the shooting, yet another mass shooting in this country, this time in Oregon, nestled in the hills of the Cascade Mountains, out there in the Pacific Northwest. 2 people killed at the hands of the gunman, plus the gunman himself died from a self-inflicted gunshot. One of the employees at the grocery store actually tried to disarm the shooter and was not able to do so, and thus he himself was killed, of course, with another person and the gunman himself. People are saying that if it were not for the heroic effort of that one individual, that there could have been a lot more blood shed in that Safeway grocery store out in Central Oregon. Okay, let's move on. We got another off the field, off the court, off the diamond type of issue, off the ice. You can throw that in there too, that we need to get to. Before we do that, though, this second segment is being brought to you by TJ's Catfish and Wings. You don't know good eating until you've been to TJ's Catfish and Wings at 4261 Green Oaks Boulevard, Suite 506 in Arlington, Texas, with an all-new menu with boneless tenders, fresh salads, sub sandwiches, brisket, delicious fried shrimp, multiple flavored buffalo wings, motley drink mixtures, lunch specials, kids meals, yummy desserts, specials, and of course, their world-famous catfish. You can call by ordering, or you can order by calling 817-572-1600. Again, that is 817-572-1600, or go to TJ's Catfish and Wings 1.com, or stop by for a new look, a new menu, a new atmosphere, same address, and same 4.5-star service. TJ's Catfish and Wings, 4261 Green Oaks Boulevard, Suite 506. Come on by, y'all, and tell them that your boy from the Shakeback Media Group, hashtag Brothers of Baseball, and the BGC Sports Network, Travis. That's your boy at TJ's. That's Travis himself. He's the owner. Tell him your boy told you to come by and holler at him so y'all can set it off on your hunger pains. Okay. I want to get to this story that took place in a Duke versus Brigham Young University volleyball game. Now, this involves a Duke player by the name of Rachel Richardson, racist abuse from BYU fans all match long. Okay, before I actually get into that, let me talk about BYU for just a second. Their mission statement: the mission of Brigham Young University, founded and supported and guided by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is to provide or to assist individuals in their quest for perfection and eternal life. That is their mission statement. One of their aims of a BYU education should be spiritually strengthening, intellectually enlarging, and character building, leading to lifelong learning and service. Okay, so this young lady, Miss Rachel, of course, I can only imagine what that must be like on the court, being yelled racial slurs at you. I can only imagine what it would be like to have that same thing done to you in 2022. I can only imagine how she must have felt so unsafe, as she said she felt unsafe throughout the entire match. I can only imagine why BYU and anybody that was sitting in that crowd did not stand up and say, yo, dude, you are completely out of line. Or why didn't they alert anyone at BYU in terms of the police force or authorities or campus cops anybody, why did they allow this to go on for the entire match? I can tell you why. This is my opinion, but my opinion is based on things that I personally have gone through and what we have seen as minorities and people of color in the United States of America. Yeah, I said it like that for a reason. Because it's still happening. That's why. And for people out there that think that this is in any way okay, you should have yourselves tarred and feathered. You should have yourselves put in a position that you hate the most and have to be asked or told or ordered or commanded to do that very thing that you hate the most for an X amount of time. And you should never be allowed back on a BYU campus, really, or any other campus for that matter, for the rest of your existence. Now, it's not so much, not that any of it is okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just first off by saying that none of this is okay. But tell me why in the world of racism and prejudice and all these other divisive techniques, attitudes, mindsets, whatever, in 2022, in August of 2022, why in the world is this continuing to take place? But more importantly, why did not BYU do something about it? Why did they not step in? They are being very reactive when it comes to this. Now, the father of young Rachel, can you imagine what he was thinking when his little girl called him and said, "Daddy, I do not feel safe"? Duke, okay, number one, she's an African American female. Number two, it's not like this is a troublemaker. Not saying that I know the young lady personally, but what I am saying is people who tend to go to schools like Duke, BYU, Harvard, Yale, the upper echelon of academic institutions in this country tend not to be troublemakers. But here's the thing, and I think I saw or heard something to where the people that were heckling this young lady, our little sister, as Stephen A. and Swagoo and Jason Jay Williams said on one of the ESPN shows, this is our little sister. And as they said, if you are in any way contrite, if you are in any way silent, if you are in any way complicit, you're the people we're talking to. You're the people we're talking to because you are the people that are continuing to hold this type of mindset and behavior in a spotlight just enough to where it keeps on happening, and it appears as though that it's okay for it to keep on happening. Now, for those out there, for my brothers and my sisters who are a lighter shade of color than I am, that do not have a problem with a person that is the same shade of color that I am, that do not see an issue for a person based on the color of their skin. We need you. We're not talking about you when it comes to these types of incidences that keep on happening, not just in the Deep South, not just in the rural part of America, on academic campuses, in boardrooms, in the financial centers, in mortgage companies, in hospitals. We need your help. We're not talking about you, but I am talking to you. I'm looking dead in the camera. I am talking to you. And I have personally a lot of people that are great people great people that are a lighter shade of color than me that we follow each other on Twitter. I'm reaching out to you because we have interacted, okay? And I've seen your heart, and I hope that you have seen mine. 6,300 followers on Twitter. All of you guys that are not okay with these things that happen to these innocent students, to these innocent people that are the same shade of color than I am, we need you to stand up with us. We don't need you to stand up for us. We need you to stand up with us. So this type of behavior and people with this type of a mindset can so become the minority to where it shakens, it scares, and it produces the change that America, not America, that America was supposedly founded upon. Equal justice, or life, the pursuit of life, liberty, and justice for all. That part. The part that says that a person of African descent, I didn't say African American, a person of African descent is no longer considered 3/5 of a person. Those types of changes. Let your relationship with your Lord and Savior be above the relationship with your peers or your bank or your lifestyle or your reputation. And until then, man, and if we rise up the way that we have risen up in the past, then we become labeled as gangsters or rioters or criminals and all the rest. And for our little sister, Rachel Richardson, look, as one that has been called the N-word multiple, and I'm not talking about in an affectionate manner. I'm not talking about in a loving way like me and my homies seem to do. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when that N-word is meant to belittle, when it is meant to destroy, when it is meant to take away self-esteem. I have been called that so many times. Not recently, because I think people now know what time it is. They do it in a different way. But I can only imagine, Rachel, what you had to go through on that court after really coming out and emphasizing and communicating and voicing your concern about not even being safe. And in an atmosphere and in an arena and in a venue that has to be filled with people, adults that are supposedly responsible and doing the right thing. It seems to be that you, at your tender age of 20, was the only one that acted in accordance as to what we should do when somebody is being done wrong, without seeing color, without seeing socioeconomic class, without seeing education, without seeing any of those things. You did the right thing. And if anybody tries to tell you that you didn't, they are stupid. Period. Point blank. And yeah, every time she served the ball, she got called the N-word. Every single time. And if you don't know anything about volleyball, when you're serving, yeah, there's a back line and you're back there by yourself. And every time she served, and if the match, and I don't have the results of the match, but if a match is like women's tennis, without going into extras, there's three sets, and I don't see where it went to all 3 sets. But if it does go to all 3 sets, do you know how long that is? And I understand that there may be a rotation in place to where different people serve the ball over the net or up to the net or whatever the case may be. But once is way too many times. And that is just what that is, ladies and gentlemen. There's no cause for it. There's no room for it. And I could say more about BYU and their lackluster way of handling it because they want to come out after the fact, after the match was over with, after days have gone by, after time had developed for people to become more and more incensed and upset and mad and ready to just do some unlawful and potentially ungodful things. You could have got out ahead of it. But you chose not to. So shame on you for that. So we hope that that Rachel and her family and her teammates and all those that were disgusted by this can somehow gain some sort of strength and peace and be able to move forward and be some sort of beacon of light, some sort of lightning rod where more people can learn from situations like this. All right, let's move on to some baseball because number one, I only got 2 minutes left to go in this particular segment, and we have not talked about baseball yet, but we're going to right now because there is some important milestones being pursued. One by Albert Pujols, of course, of the St. Louis Cardinals, and Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. Let's start with Phat Albert's race to 700. Okay, so the other day, he hit an opposite field shot for his 15th homer of the year, but more importantly, home run number 694 for his illustrious 22-year career. What I love about Albert Pujols the most is that he has done this in the face of the steroid / performance enhancing drug era, and his name has remained unblemished. That is what I love most about this dude. Number two, he is going to get to 700. And my hope and prayer is that he does do it this year. Because if he does it this year, he could conceivably come back in 2023 and move up on the ladder and maybe even pass Babe Ruth. So you would have Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Albert Pujols, Babe Ruth, and I want to say after that would be A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. So come on back on the other side of the break. We're going to get to some more of this here in just a minute. Also, we're going to talk about the Triple Crown, the assault on the Triple Crown again. Of course, that is the Major League leading or National League or American League leading hitter in terms of average, home runs, and RBI. Paul Goldschmidt also from the Cardinals is making a case for that. So we're going to talk about that as well. Small hashtag look ahead. It doesn't look like we're going to get to the power rankings, but I'm going to run through that as quickly as I can. So y'all come back on the other side of the break. Willie Epstein Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball. Y'all come back and holler at us.